Ugh, somebody help. It's been too hot. I'm not going to lie. I have not been drawing as much during this month because my room was an oven and it was generally too hot to do anything. Unfortunately, it does mean that this month's drawing recap video will not be a long video. That being said, I have managed to eke out something digitally. Even still, I hope you stick around and watch. And on to the digital drawings for July. Admittedly, there hasn't been a lot for this month. I think I may have mentioned a number of times that we had a heat wave where I am, which made drawing on my computer really difficult because my room just gets really hot and unbearable to work. What I managed to eke out towards the towards the midway point of July was during live streams, and basically I've done everything within the one creator file rather than having separate creator files per week, which might be something I actually continue to do moving on forward from now, just because it makes the directory a lot cleaner. I just need to remember to actually name my layers according to the day of the week. So I can't exactly remember what the later days were, but I started this document on the 12th of July, and because of the fact that it was really warm and I really didn't feel like drawing, I wanted to do something where I can sort of write off and not care whether it looks good or not. So I figured what's something I wanted to do in the past and don't mind if it doesn't come out looking good, and that was apparently horses. So what I done was I pulled up a reference image from petclothes.com, and I believe I tried drawing the horse head here first. It looks a bit, I want to say, stunted, but my main focus was trying to get the mass of the head correct and then work on the details. And then once I've done that, I figured let me try to run the rest of the head, rest of the body, and I drew this, which actually kind of looks okay. It is a copy from the reference, but I'm not gonna be too fussed about that. I think shortly after I drew that, I did a second one. Yeah, a bunch more horses, and these actually look okay. I remember finishing these and thinking, oh man, these look weird. But no, they actually look okay. This one might be a little weird. This one here. Because I wasn't quite sure whether the proportions are correct, particularly the limbs. I've only come to find out that there's actually five, I'm going to call them articulations, but the shoulder joint, the shoulder, it's not shoulder, the collarbone, I'm guessing this would be the human equivalent of the clavicle, and then that connects to the femur, I believe, and then from the femur you get into the radius and ulnar point, I believe. Hold on, let me see. Collar, ulnar, not ulnar, humerus, radius, and ulnar, and then this from that point on, this is like the sort of carpals. So this would be this section here. I'm guessing would be the hands. They're the horse equivalent of hands. You got carpals and then your metacarpals, and I think the horses stand on their toes, so they're phalanges. I think. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a vet. I really like how this looks. It isn't complete because there's no mane, but I really do like how this horse looks. But yeah, so that was on the first week, and then on the week after, I think I continued to draw and focus primarily on the anatomy of the horse legs. So yeah, not the collarbone. I said it was actually the scapula, not the collarbone, but the humerus, the ulnar radius, and then the human equivalent of the metacarpals, as I've mentioned. Then yeah, this is just a horse rearing, and then I think I tried drawing a horse without reference with this one, trying to see if I could remember how it looked like. You can tell because the legs look a bit wonky, and I think based from that, I then quickly looked up on the skeleton of the legs. You can tell that there's like the front legs are like a bunch of zigzags. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 if you. What's this called? The short pastern. From the short pastern onwards. And then the back hind legs is like the front but flipped over. So you go 1 backwards, 2 inwards, 3, 4. The 4 somewhat looks like it's going downwards, particularly when the horse is standing. And then the hands is obviously going forwards. And then when a horse stands, this would be more prominent, and this would swivel back. In fact, actually, I need to remember. Actually, let's talk about this first. I really do like how it flows. I didn't do the mane, but if I did the mane and then shown the tail, I think it would give a really nice flowy look. So the thing I was about to mention, the rib cage of a horse. So when I drew the horse, it started out with a circle, right? But this rib cage, half of that would be taken up by a scapula, I imagine. That is to say that I've made the scapula appear smaller here than what it probably looks in real life. What is actually the case. Okay, this is when I sort of started to move away from drawing horses. Like, I started drawing a horse. I can't remember why I drew these heads, but then I moved on to drawing donkeys. It's just because I quite more of a curiosity and somewhat being amused by the fact that the donkey and the horse, they're not the same species, but they're sort of the same type of animal, but they have such different proportions. I don't know if the donkey falls on the equine branch. I'm sure there's like a animal genealogy tree or something. But yeah, I tried drawing a horse galloping, but it looked weird. And then more donkeys for the final week. Yeah, the donkey's mane isn't as flowy as the horse's mane, and they're quite stocky or bulky relative to their size. Yeah, this one reminds me of a sheep for some reason. I think if I shaded in the fur of the donkey, it would be more apparent that this is a donkey. Also, they have longer ears. I've noticed. Yeah. Again, these are all from Pixel as well. Look at this donkey rolling around, not caring. And yeah, that's it for the digital. And with that, we are done with this drawing recap. As I mentioned before, we were having a heat wave, so it was really difficult to draw while the room was hot, and having my PC on doesn't help either. So see you next time. Bye.